Hello, Dr. Margarita Markoviti. It's a sincere pleasure and honor to have you here. Thank you for your Jean Monnet seminar. And thank you for kicking off the year with such a great audience. We'll ask you some questions. The first question has to do, how does Europe strike a delicate balance between secularism and religious freedom?
In a very difficult way, if I may say. The European Union chooses to only address the question of religious freedoms as part of its external action, service and foreign affairs agenda. So religious freedoms within member states is not a question of concern for the European Union. The one European institution that does directly tackle questions of religious freedoms is the European Court of Human Rights of the Council of Europe, with an expanding case law and jurisprudence on Article 9 on freedoms of religion or conscience of the European Convention on Human Rights. The European Court of Justice of the European Union has also dealt with, very recently, with questions of religious manifestation, for instance, in a secular working environment, but it's much more hesitant and much more rare that you get to hear an opinion from an EU institution on this matter.
This brings us to our second question. Can you tell us a little more about the role of the European Court of Human Rights in protecting religious freedoms?
So, the European Court of Human Rights is an amazing court in the sense that anyone can appeal to it. Anyone can go to Strasbourg once they have exhausted national remedies, of course, national and local courts, to complain against the violation of their rights, their religious rights, for instance, by a member state of the Council of Europe. The first ever violation of an Article 9 case issued by the European Court of Human Rights was against the country of Greece, which has the highest number of convictions by the European Court of Human Rights, and it involved, over religious freedoms related cases specifically, and it involved a case of proselytism by a Jehovah's Witness, Kokkinakis versus Greece. That was in 1993. Since 1993, the court has issued a number of decisions, a number of rulings that relate in different ways to the protection and the promotion of religious freedoms and religious diversity in the European public sphere.
Excellent. This brings us to the third and last question. How would you characterize the position of EU institutions vis-à-vis religious freedom? What are the differences between the positions they take and the way that they tackle this issue with regards to fundamentalism and extremism?
Unsurprisingly, the Council of Ministers is the institution that is most reluctant when it comes to addressing the question of religion, precisely because these ministers are there to represent national interests and, by extension, national traditions. So it's very rare that you get to hear any consensus about religion in the Council. The European Parliament, as the arena where politicization takes place in the European Union, is definitely a place where religion is mentioned, but like I mentioned earlier, it is mainly mentioned by MEPs belonging to extreme right and nationalist political groupings who refer to religion as a means to talk more broadly about an incompatibility of Islam, primarily, with European values and Western civilization in general. Now, the European Commission, in its bureaucratic machinery, it has a lot of experts, and I've talked to some of them, and believe me, they are very well aware of the details, of the facts, and of the literature, and of the scholarly work that has been done around religion, religious freedoms, and religiously inspired radicalization in Europe. But when it comes to them doing their actual work, they have to be very, very careful. And in the words that they choose to use, and in the decisions, and in implementing the policies that they decide to implement around religion. They do acknowledge the role that religion should play in the fight against radicalization and religiously inspired terrorism, but they say that we have no competence of the matter. This is an issue of national concern, and that we cannot. It's one of our prerogatives. We do not intervene in questions of religion.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.